BoogeyMan band coming round the bend. Is BoogeyMan band. Is BoogeyMan band.
Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends. Thanks so much for stopping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video is going to be, of course, a spooky screenings. Even though I'm a little late to the party on this one, I finally went and saw Terrifier 3. Went to a later showing of it. It was playing at like 4 in the afternoon, and it's 7:40, so I went to the 7:40 showing after work. Been anxiously awaiting this film, one of my most anticipated films of the year, and I was so glad that I got to see this new film in the theater. I unfortunately didn't get to see Terrifier 2 in the theater when it came out 2 years ago. This is, really graphic, over-the-top violence, and I was curious how this new film was going to work, seeing that the first two took place on Halloween. This one's going to be taking place at Christmas time. But I'm really excited to talk about my thoughts on the film right now. Art the Clown is set to unleash chaos on the unsuspecting residents of Miles County as they peacefully drift off to sleep on Christmas Eve. The movie stars Lauren Levera as Sienna, David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, Antonella Rose as Gabby, Elliot Fulham as Jonathan, Samantha Scafidi as Victoria Hayes, Margaret Ann Florence as Jessica, and Bryce Johnson as Greg. The movie was written and directed by Damien Leone. So my experience in the movie theater tonight is something I'll talk about first, and it was shitty. Just because I'm just getting to the point where I'm really just getting frustrated with people and people not having respect for others. And I know other people have talked about this that do movie reviews and things like that here on this platform. But just as soon as I got into the theater tonight, there was these two idiots in the very back of the theater that were they had a flashlight with them of all things, and they kept flashing it around. Luckily, they were so far behind me, I didn't really hear them a lot through the movie, and the movie is over 2 hours long. But every so often you would hear them. They would put their hand up in front of the screen because they were right in the back. So every once in a while you would see a hand go up or something, and it just is like, I'm really just losing faith in society sometimes. It's like, why can't people just behave? Why can't you just shut the fuck up and watch a fucking movie? Sorry to be so crass, but I'm just like, I'm tired of people. I'm really tired of just people not having respect for others. And I wanted to say something about it, but, in the end of the day, is it really going to do any good? So I just said, you know what, fuck it. I just sort of tried to block it out and watch the film. And at the end of the movie, of course, they ran down the stairs like idiots, shining their flashlight in people. Nobody said anything. I felt like I was in a room full of zombies. Nobody said anything. Even like during some of the really rough parts of the film, the only people I could hear was them. And then I don't know. Then driving home tonight, there was like road closures and people almost cutting people off, running red lights. I'm like going, I don't know what's wrong with people anymore. But anyway, getting back to the movie, I actually really loved Terrifier 3. In fact, I liked it more than the second movie. The second movie, while I appreciate it, and I was so happy for Leone and Howard Thornton, both of them, to be able to get the movie out that they wanted to get out. And that movie really did well. It actually I think it was more successful that year than Halloween Ends, which was such a divisive film. Seemed like Terrifier 2 really took the audience and gave the audience what they wanted. They wanted more carnage, they wanted more Art the Clown, and they got it in that film. They also got a terrific heroine in the character of Sienna, played by Lauren Levera, and I love her. She is fantastic. She's probably, I think, one of the best heroines in a horror film since Scream. She's a badass. I love that character. I love what the actress brings to that character. And that was something that was missing in the first Terrifier. As much as I liked that film, I did do a review of the first Terrifier back in 2018 when I saw it for the first time on streaming. Really liked it. It really disturbed me. David Howard Thornton, I thought, was so great as Art the Clown. He scared me more than Pennywise and I'm not scared of clowns. So it's like that was something that he really was great without saying a word. And I met David Howard Thornton in 2019. Couldn't have been a nicer guy. But yeah, I was really curious what this third film was going to be like, because it's set at Christmas time. Really different. The first two took place on Halloween. But I really feel like this movie had a stronger story than the other ones. Yes, there is that graphic over-the-top violence, and yes, it is really bad, and sometimes it does involve children. I will give people warnings about it. It wasn't to the point of gratuitousness with the kids, so I will say that. I felt like, you know, if you're going to go there, I felt like it was handled. Very well, and as tastefully as you can do in a movie like this, where you know that there's going to be some moments that are really going to push the envelope. I've seen movies that have disturbed me way more. The movie Speak No Evil, one that deals with violence involving children, and that's the Danish one. I didn't see the one that was made by Blumhouse starring James McAvoy, but the Danish one I watched 2 years ago, and I never want to see it again. It's bothered me. It still bothers me. I still think about it, and really, just that was one that I'm like, okay. And so many people I know love that film, and I'm like, that's great. I never want to see it again. With this one, because things are just so insane with the violence, it didn't bother me. And like I said, the kid stuff, I think for the type of film it is, it was done, you know, the best way they could do it. Yeah, I just thought that the story for this one worked so much better than the second one. The second one had some good moments, I think, towards the latter half of the film. I felt like, and there's like some good funny parts, like when Art is buying the horn in the costume store, which I still think is my favorite scene in the movie. But it just like felt like this, it was just all over the place for me. Whereas this one, I really liked where they went with this. You know, this is 5 years after the events of the second film, and you have Sienna. You know, she's been through so much. She had gone through so much in the second film, and this is her kind of recovering from that, and the scars that she has from her encounter with Art. Also, you know, you see her extended family, her aunt and uncle, and her niece, and what happened to her brother. And yeah, it really, I thought it was really a well done movie, and had some really, really good, shocking, gory moments. Lauren Levera was absolutely fantastic as Sienna. I thought she was terrific in the film, and it was so great to see her playing this part again. I think she's even stronger in this film than she was in the second film. I also loved her relationship with her niece Gabby, played by Antonella Rose. That relationship was very believable to me, and I think both actresses just did a great job. They had terrific chemistry together. I also want to say the character of Victoria, what they've done with that character in this film really shocked me. And Samantha Scafidi has played that character through all three films, and I was really shocked where they went with her in this one. You know, there was some mystical elements that were kind of introduced in the second film, and they're broadened a little bit here, but they also bring in more questions in this one. So I am curious to see where they're going to go. I know they've already announced that they're going to do more Terrifier films. I also love Paul Wiley's score. I thought his score was fantastic in this one. It's probably my favorite score of the entire franchise. And there's some great, I don't want to give them away, but there's some terrific genre actors that make appearances in this, and it was so great to see them. One of them really shocked me, but yeah, I had so much fun with this film. And yes, it is gory, yes, it is brutal, but the thing I love about this one, which I didn't feel as much about in the second film, I feel like this one I was able to really relate to these characters more. Yes, the Sienna character was very strong in the second film, but now that you've gotten to know her, you've seen what she's gone through, you've seen what her brother's gone through, I was able to relate to them so much stronger in this film, and I was just with them. I wanted them to survive. I wanted to, you know, see her overcome these obstacles that she has. I mean, she's going through PTSD. She's seeing things because of everything that she experienced in the events of the second film. And just the brutality of Art is so visceral in some scenes, and there's some scenes that really made my jaw hit the floor. But yeah, if you enjoyed the first two, I think you'll really enjoy this one. I was surprised I loved it as much as I did. I've only watched the second movie a couple times. I watched the first one maybe 3 times. This is one that I will revisit, and as gory and gruesome and insanely batshit crazy that it is, it does feel like a Christmas film. And much like Black Christmas and some of these other horror films that I really like Silent Night, Deadly Night, it is one that I would watch at Christmas time. And I really think it does have a nice balance. It worked. And yes, it might put a lot of people off. It is not a movie for everybody, but I really enjoyed it. And I'm so glad that I got to see it, despite the shitty experience I had at the movie theater. So yes, if you're a fan of the first 2 Terrifiers or the All Hallows Eve films, I definitely recommend people check out Terrifier 3. They did have a slightly bigger budget on this one. It was a $2 million budget. The second movie had a $250,000 budget, but even though they have a bigger budget, you can tell that it has more money in it than the second movie does. But that doesn't stop it from, you know, still being in-your-face, gory insanity. And I'm so happy for Damien Leone that he's been able to make these movies that he wants to make. Growing up in the 80s with the Friday the 13th, they were neutered by the MPAA, and it still pisses me off, especially Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, which we'll never see a director's cut of because they destroyed all the footage. We only can see that grainy VHS tape of, you know, all of John Buechler's amazing effects work that was cut out of that film. Made me really happy to see that these movies are doing well and he's able to make the movie that he wants and not have to go through those restrictions that neutered so many great horror films. If you have seen Terrifier 3, I'm curious what people think. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Would love to hear from everyone. And as always, thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace. Hey, my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.